In my opinion, the first year of full-time travel is a bit like taking an adult vision quest without needing to take drugs. So in today's episode of How to Travel Full-Time, I'm going to share one of the themes of my own adult vision quest that I lived during my first year of traveling full-time. Welcome to the How to Travel Full-Time podcast. I'm your host, Heather Markell. If you're dreaming of full-time travel or moving abroad, but stuck at the emotional, financial, and logistical challenges, this podcast is for you. I'll help you trade overwhelm for information that gets you from down and stuck to up and going. You can dream about the travel lifestyle, or you can live the travel lifestyle. If you're ready to live it, then let's jump in together. Year one of full-time travel is full of highs and also lows. It's a huge adjustment. Learning you pack too much, traveling too fast or too slow, repeated culture shock, learning your way around a new place, changing currencies and languages. Whew. The only constant there is you. And therein lies the gift and the curse that will be part of your first year of full-time travel. A few of the big parts of that first year for me were patterns and ways of being that I was used to, and like they were slapping me in the face and I had to deal with them. So let's start with, I was working in corporate. I had been trying for so long to climb that proverbial corporate ladder. And simultaneously, I would be hitting that proverbial glass ceiling. Everything I did in my life was about making money and trying to make more money. So here I am, starting to travel full time, but I'm not making that money anymore. And so it became a real challenge to understand. So if I'm not making money, where should I focus my drive and ambition? Does that drive and ambition even serve a purpose? And so I launched my travels believing that I would magically find my next job or career. Like the travel would sort of lead me to a person or cause me to just wake up one day and poof, I'd know what I wanted to do and I'd go apply for that job. But that day never came. What did happen after 6 months of travel was the realization that the travel itself was what I was seeking. And that happened because I met a 26-year-old on Easter Island who had just completed a year and a half of traveling the world. And he reminded me that the journey is the destination. And that reminder made me feel like it was okay for me to just seek new experiences and see new places, because inherent in that was that as I was discovering the world, I was also discovering myself. And I had no idea, because I thought going into this adventure, I'm just like, la, 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 I'm going here, I'm getting my passport stamped, I'll see this cool place. I had no idea that the journey of full-time travel is such an internal one as well as an external one. And that can be a real jarring surprise. So once I really embraced this travel, a travel writing opportunity came my way. And you know how the universe, right, it works. It gives you this opportunity, but you have to say yes. So I saw this opportunity to write for a company called Travel Awaits on a trial basis. And they liked my sample, and so they took me into their community. And it was such a great, though highly unexpected, not only sort of job, but, I was able to start making money doing the travel. So I was sustaining my travels, and I had found this way to make money and also do what I loved. And it was such a wonderful experience. So somehow that first year is really about finding your way into yourself as much as it is about finding your way around the world. And therein lies the second and maybe deeper part of this vision quest experience that you can expect on year one of your travels. And probably, look, I've been traveling solo, so I think it's a lot more intense, the inward journey, than it may be if you're traveling with someone, but you're definitely going to go through it, right? Because the layers of you are going to come up. And I think this has to do with letting go of whoever you were being before you started the travel and deciding, who do you want to be now? For me, this came in as patterns. If you haven't already noticed in your own life, whether you're traveling full-time or not, you can change your job and you can change your location, but you're still going to attract the same kinds of people and situations if you're not aware of the patterns that attract them. So the worst, and also the best, moment is when you get really honest with yourself. You look at this pattern. I know when I did, I got really upset because look, I had changed my entire life. And I remember thinking, oh my God, again? I have the same damn issue. Why does this keep happening to me? So I would ask myself, like literally scream it in my head out loud. And I would ask this question like I was a victim to it. And I remember literally looking all around me one day. Like I'm looking for, who can I blame? Whose fault is it? That this pattern keeps coming up? And I'm looking and I'm looking. And I realize there's no one else here except me. Ugh. So that's when I realized, oh my God, I'm creating the pattern. And that was this super awful moment, but also wonderful because it helped me realize that I had power over it. And that acknowledgement allowed me to reframe that awful question into, what am I doing that keeps attracting this pattern? And with that question, I could go figure out the answer to it. And as I looked for answers, I also was able to say in my mind and out loud, I'm done with this pattern. I don't want this pattern in my life anymore. And through that, I could work on shifting it. And I'm telling you, this is a lot less expensive and a lot faster than working with a therapist. It's if you're willing to go into all of these patterns that might come up and be curious about them and sit with them, you can learn so, I'm telling you, because I did try months, even years of therapy before I started traveling full time. And I found that just sitting with this on my own and going through it was much deeper and much faster than a lot of the therapy that I've done in my life. So it's pretty amazing. So one of the biggest patterns that surfaced my first year of full-time travel was unfortunately one of disrespecting myself. And so that lack of respect for myself led me to attract friendships and relationships that were unhealthy on so many levels. And this had been happening to me most of my life. And so when I finally confronted it, I remember, of course, the universe gave me plenty of opportunities to practice respecting myself. And one of those happened in Vietnam. I was on this day tour with 9 other people. And every stop we made, our guide was great. He would say, before we got off the bus, he said, you've got 40 minutes, 20, whatever it was, you got 40 minutes. Let's look at your watches, be back to the bus at this time. And at every stop, there was one woman, the same woman, who would return to the bus literally like 15 minutes late every time, while everyone else was exactly on time. And so one stop while we're waiting for this woman to get back, I asked the guide, well, are we going to miss out on seeing other places because she's late? And he's like, yep, we might. So, obviously a few of us were very upset. And so at the third stop, I went over to the woman. I was really uncomfortable. This was like very uncharacteristic of me, but I decided, you know what? I've paid the same amount as everyone else, and it seems like everyone is really uncomfortable with this, but I don't want to yell at her or single her out or make her feel bad in front of everyone. So I decided I would just go up to her alone. And so I did. And I told her that we were worried that we were going to miss out on some of the stops because of her. And it turned out she said she was just bad with time and she was a little bit flaky about it. And I was like, okay, but everyone else on the bus is on time except you. And she didn't realize that. And so she set an alarm on her phone to make sure that she got back to the bus on time. And from then on, she was on time. So for me, I felt like I had stepped way out of my comfort zone just by speaking up. And it kind of reverberated through me. And as I look back on my travel experiences, I see how far I've come in addressing this pattern, because I look both at the number of times that I have comfortably stepped up and spoken up out of respect for myself, as well as realizing that I love my current friendships and the people that I'm surrounded by, and I created that. So the experiences of full-time travel will inevitably lead you to your own power and your own resourcefulness by leaning into those parts of yourself and those patterns that you don't like, and then confronting them head on to become more of the person you want to be. And so this is just one of the many powerful experiences that traveling full-time can give you. Even if you only go for a few months or a year, it's amazing. So that's a little bit about why I feel that year one of full-time travel is a bit like an adult vision quest, and some of what you can expect on your own journey. Thanks so much for listening to the How to Travel Full-Time podcast. If you loved it, please leave a review and let us know. Make sure to subscribe to get the latest episodes. Check out the show notes for important resources related to this episode, and come visit us at travellifestylecoach.com to learn more great information. If you're ready to get started with the lifestyle, go to moneyfortravelbootcamp.com, where you can learn all the strategies to afford this amazing lifestyle. Talk to you next week.